Welcome, everyone. So, over the past few years, I've exposed fraud rings, fake carriers, illegal authorities, identity theft, apps, foreign-run MC numbers, and a government system that can't keep up. Today, I'm doing something different. I've asked artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, to analyze every pattern, every fraud case, every scam, and everything I've uncovered on this channel. So, welcome back to Axel Live, the channel that exposes fraud, uncovers hidden threats in trucking, and tells the truth the industry doesn't want out there. Today's episode is unique. I fed the patterns and cases from my channel into AI and asked it to analyze the fraud cases I've covered, the platforms failing to vet carriers, government loopholes, the rise of illegal authorities, and all the manipulation happening behind the scenes. Then I asked, where is trucking headed? What came back is a full breakdown of how fraud is evolving and a prediction for what the next 3 to 5 years will look like. So folks, for all my current subscribers, and if you're new stopping on in, glad to have you for the show. So like I said, I took my show, I ran it through ChatGPT, and I had it do a complete analysis. And it's very interesting what it came up with. And nice little show. I figure we'll go over this. So let's get into it. Patterns AI found in Axel Live investigations. Pattern 1, new MC numbers built for fraud. Brand new authorities set up to run a few loads, cash out, and disappear.
Pattern number 2, vetting platforms failing across the board. Systems like CarrierAssure, Highway, FreightValidate, MyCarrierPackets, SaferWatch, and others rely on outdated scoring data, not identity verification, letting bad actors slip through. Pattern number 3, fmCSA and government lag. Systems built in the 1990s struggling to handle modern fraud. Pattern number 4, identity theft and P.O. box manipulation. Fraud networks using stolen addresses, shell LLCs, and forged documents. Pattern number 5, broker and shipper vulnerabilities. Cheap freight leads to desperate decisions and perfect openings for fraud. Pattern number 6, foreign-run U.S. authorities. Operators in Ukraine, Russia, Central Asia, and Eastern Europe controlling USMCs remotely. Pattern number 7, social media misinformation. TikTok and Telegram, freight hustlers teaching illegal tactics. The root causes of fraud. Regulation can't keep up. fmCSA systems are decades behind. Low risk, high reward. The consequences don't outweigh the profit. Vetting platforms prioritize speed over accuracy, not identity verification. No real-time data sharing between brokers, carriers, and insurers. Overseas operators hard to track or prosecute. Weak digital document security, BOL/POD. ChatGPT's unified theory of trucking fraud. AI concluded trucking is hitting an inflection point where fraud is beginning to outpace genuine freight capacity. AI's unified theory. Fraud is escalating faster than carriers can respond. Fraudsters have almost zero operational costs. Meanwhile, real carriers face rising insurance, diesel, compliance, and equipment costs. This is driving trucking into two separate ecosystems. First verified ecosystem carriers will need biometric level identity checks, real ID matching, digital verification, strong compliance vetting. Dark ecosystem number 2. This includes chains of fake MCs, identity farms, offshore dispatch/fraud centers, forged documents, fraud taught through social media. AI says trucking will be split, and the split is accelerating. AI predictions for the next 3 to 5 years. Prediction 1, fmCSA modernizes under pressure. AI-driven matching, identity verification, instant MC freezes. I like that instant MC freeze part. Prediction number 2, major vetting platforms evolve or fail. CarrierAssure, Highway, FreightValidate, MyCarrierPackets, all will be forced to adopt true identity verification, live authentication, anti-fraud databases, or risk being replaced. Prediction 3, brokers face more liability. Insurance and lawsuits will push brokers to vet carriers more thoroughly. Prediction 4, Federal Freight Fraud Task Force triggered by national security concerns and industry collapse. And not the Freight Fraud Task Force we've all been hearing about. Prediction 5, social media crackdown, TikTok, Facebook, Telegram, freight fraud groups targeted. Prediction 6, new anti-fraud tech market emerges. AI-powered protection services for real carriers, possibly opening up a space for Axel Live to launch a service. I didn't put it, Axel, ChatGPT put that in there. I like this AI sometimes. What real carriers must do now: verify identities before hauling. Avoid brokers will lose vetting. Secure BOL/POD documents. Report fraud early. Vet social media experts carefully. Maintain clear digital footprints. Now we're going to get into part what it says about brokers. And what's very interesting, it put in a lot more for the brokers, and I found it very interesting. So, what brokers must do now: AI didn't just analyze what carriers need to do, it also outlined a clear roadmap for brokers. And this part is critical because brokers are the primary targets of fraudulent MC numbers, forged documents, and identity theft operations. Here is what AI says brokers must implement immediately if they want to survive the next phase of trucking fraud. 1. Move from document collection to identity validation. Right now, many brokers rely on PDFs, certificates of insurance, authority documents, MC numbers. These are all easy to forge. Brokers must shift to true identity verification, including cross-verifying EIN, addresses, and corporate officers, direct insurer confirmation, live onboarding calls, real person verification, not overseas dispatchers. Number 2, stop trusting scoring-based vetting platforms alone. Platforms like CarrierSure, Highway, FreightValidate, and MyCarrierPackets are useful tools, but they are not enough. None of them perform live identity checks, real-time fraud analysis, international location validation, behavior-based fraud prediction. Brokers must use them as inputs, not decision engines. Number 3, freeze new carriers under high-risk conditions. AI recommends brokers adopt automatic freezes for new MCs under 90 days, frequent address changes, P.O. boxes and mailbox stores, suspicious phone numbers, overseas communication patterns. Fraud carriers almost always spike these indicators. 4, use behavioral vetting, not surface level data. Brokers should start analyzing how fast the carrier wants payment, whether documents look digitally altered, IP address patterns, email domain age, whether the dispatcher speaks for multiple carriers. AI predicts behavioral vetting will become standard industry practice. Number 5, strengthen internal brokerage compliance, which I feel a lot of brokers do not do, and they just let agents run as they wish. All states brokers are vulnerable because compliance teams are understaffed or undertrained. Brokers must build fraud playbooks, verification SOPs, which I will cover after about another slide or two, secure internal communication channels, document authentication protocols, escalation workflows. The brokers who do this will avoid the upcoming fraud tsunami. Those who don't will get hit first. 6, build relationships with proven carriers. AI concluded the transactional model is dying. Brokers must build carrier networks, validate identity once, maintain ongoing verification, create dedicated carrier programs, reduce exposure to the open load board ecosystem. Fraud thrives where brokers have no relationships. Number 7, start reporting fraud publicly and federally. Brokers rarely report fraud because they fear reputational damage. AI argues the opposite. Reporting protects brokers, creates industry awareness, builds legal documentation, shows regulators that changes are needed. Brokers should report fraud to fmCSA, DOT OIG, insurance carriers, load boards, state authorities, and other brokers. And we all know that reporting to a lot of those industries is very hard. They either can't handle it, they don't know what's going on, but this is why everyone must be involved and stay on top of all these people, especially load boards, especially the fmCSA, especially the DOT, especially the insurance, especially all of them. Silence is how fraud spreads. So, what are verification SOPs? Simple definition. I didn't know myself what they were talking about, so I had to put it in here. So, verification SOPs, standard operating procedures. Duh. A company follows to confirm a carrier's identity, legitimacy, and safety before giving them a load. They are written, repeatable steps that every employee must follow, so nothing gets missed. A broker's verification SOPs usually include checking MC authority status, confirming insurance directly with the insurer, verifying the phone number and email match fmCSA records, cross-checking addresses, EIN, and corporate info. Just like we do here on the Axel Live Show when we investigate all these frauds, we go through all their corporation documents. We check so much. We check their phone numbers, emails, everything. Let me see. Cross-checking address, EIN, corporate info is where we left off. Matching driver identity to the carrier. Verifying the bank account belongs to the real carrier. Checking for cloned or fraudulent documents. Using multiple sources, fmCSA, SMS, SAFER, vetting tools. In short, verification SOPs protect brokers from fraud by making every deal pass the same strict identity checks. No shortcuts. So, AI's message is clear. Brokers who modernize, verify identity, and build real compliance systems will survive. Brokers who rely on scoring platforms and outdated onboarding checklists will lose millions in the next few years. Fraud isn't a side issue. It's becoming a trucking issue. And AI just connected the dots across everything we've exposed on this channel. Axel Live will continue exposing the fraud, telling the truth, and protecting the industry one case at a time. So, folks, I appreciate you for watching. You can like, share, and subscribe. You can put your comments down in the comments section. But like we do here, we dig deep, we investigate all these frauds, we expose whatever needs to be exposed, we bring it out to the public. We do have people that are reporting this stuff to the FBI, the DOJ, the fmCSA, and everybody else. They're actually writing up legal documents, legal analysis. So, who's involved in any fraud, we will expose. If you think you're slick, go ahead and be slick. But we are looking at everything, and I'm not the only one. There's actually a lot more to have jumped on board. And as for the vetting platforms, I have no faith in them because they're driven by money. They're driven by profit, okay? It's been shown, and I've done it on this show, that they network with other frauds. People who have been carriers, chameleon carriers in this industry, people who have lost authorities, all kinds of nonsense. How can you trust these people to do vetting? They build these platforms, but then they want them just to run and collect free money. So, brokers and carriers alike, do your part. I think that's it, folks. And I don't know what else to say. I ran it through AI. There's probably a couple more things I could have put in there. And I like what it came up with. It was pretty good, pretty clear. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you're not in trucking, hopefully you learned something because we have a lot of issues in trucking. A lot of deaths have been on the highway. Illegal immigrants, terrorists with CDLs, real IDs. I mean, there's so much going on. Insurance fraud, money laundering. It's the biggest organized crime, I think, in the United States history is within the trucking industry and logistics. So, I don't know. Catch you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think. I put my email, I put my website. We got a QR code as well. So, hope to see you guys in the next one. Axel's out.